Good morning. Well, it's morning here in the UK. So, hello to wherever you are. Day three of the 21-day ceremony ritual, which I believe leads to Inner Reverence Challenge. Now, I've done this live this morning, which adds another good morning to whoever that is. Oh, thank you. Oh, Ellie. Hello, hello. Good morning. So I'm doing this live this morning essentially to be able to turn the camera around. But I have to say, it makes me a little bit nervous. Okay. So I have written a couple of things down in case I forget. So yesterday we talked a lot about altars indoors. The day before about finding objects that you would like to connect with that may go on your altar. And what I would like to add on to yesterday was all those objects that you find that you want to place in your altar. Use the technique I gave you on the first day to blow into your object. It just kind of seals your connection with it. Okay, good morning, Ellie. So today, outdoor altars. Now, I'm going to show you a couple that I have. One's a kind of formal sort of altar, known as an abasheta, sometimes known in other traditions as a cairn. And then more informal things. But I also wanted to remind us that outdoor altars come in so many different forms. Often people create ceremonial space without even realizing it. I was thinking today of those beautiful benches that we find as we walk along, certainly along here on the promenade, where they're dedicated to people, where you can sit and just be in the presence of just be able to sit quietly by yourself, having been offered this bench that's dedicated to a loved one. And we often see bunches of flowers in places. Often we don't know who they're for, but they're in remembrance of someone. In Ireland, you can hardly go anywhere without a little roadside shrine dedicated often to one of the saints, Mother Mary in particular. And you see those all over Europe. I mean, I'm sure we see them all over the world as well. We often see shrines where perhaps there's been an accident and someone has passed. We see these things all the time out in the world. And I'm going to talk about what you can do in your garden, but also if you don't have a garden, I've seen lots of things on balcony spaces, but you may have a communal garden. It may just be possible to introduce somebody to this idea by just starting something yourself. But I also want to really encourage you to be playful. I'm going to show you a sort of playful aspect to my garden. Also, just to keep in mind this idea of a lot of unacknowledged ceremonial places, graveyards, that's another one. And we see people bring all sorts, especially in today's day and age. Some graveyards are full of artifacts that have meaning to them, so that when they go to the grave, they have a deeper connection with pieces that remind them of the person or people there. Also, there's a great tradition around stones. I was thinking of pilgrimages as well. A lot of people go on pilgrimages to honour perhaps family, loved ones, saints, goddesses. We definitely see in the Eastern world a lot of pilgrimages to honour the god and goddess, to honour the divine. It's an everyday, it's a lifestyle. If you go to India or Thailand or anything like that, it is an absolute lifestyle, and there's nothing strange or odd about it. To give thanks, give prayers to the goddess, to the god, to the divine on a daily basis. And quite often they take food, they take garlands. So we just need to get back in touch with that wonderful, wonderful, magical aspect that is actually deeply sincere and deeply reverent. So, what we're going to do now is, and the other pilgrimage that I wanted to mention that is especially connected to stones. Did I start talking about it? Can't remember. It's the Camino de Santiago. A lot of people walk that, and at the very end lay a stone. And there's loads of pilgrimages here in the UK as well. Good morning to whoever's there. I can see Ellie, but I don't know who else is there. A lot of people do pilgrimages. There's a lot here in the UK, in England. A lot of pilgrimages around wells. Wells that are still in use, but wells that have been lost as well. And you couldn't go to Ireland. Every step you take, you're tripping over something sacred. Sacred circles, these are other ceremonial areas, and people are drawn to them. And why do we think they're drawn to them? Because of the energy. These are not randomly laid down, these like the pyramids and the stone circles. These are energetic power points and are especially divined to create that sacred space where people can gather for all sorts of ceremonies. So I'm going to take you outside, and I hope, in fact, I'm just checking my wee list that I think we're covered. We're covered. Let's just do this. So I'm going outside, and the first thing I want to talk to you about is the more formal shrine. It's called an Apesheta in the Quechua tradition, taught to me by Don Oscar Miro Quesada. Now, I'm just going to turn this around and show you the Apesheta. Here it is. So let's just pull it up a little bit. Now, this morning I did ask if it is okay to actually put this Apesheta on camera out in the world, and the request that came back was yes, if you feed me. So some flowers, some nuts, some seeds. So thank you. So what is an Apesheta? Right, well, it has 13, this is a bit random, this one. You would first of all sanctify the area that you're going to build it on. And then there are 13 cardinal stones, and then you build it up from the outside circle. You just fill it up, and then you have that central piece, which is, let me just show you, that's my central piece, and it's upright and is upright towards the sky. I'm going to read to you what Don Oscar has said about an Apesheta. One who brings together, Apesheta, literally the act of bringing together, a multi-purpose sacred stone cairn. And we have loads of cairns around the British Isles as well. Used originally as mountain shrines and energetic nodes on the Seke system. So this is what I mean about they're not randomly set up. They're often, a divination is used to see where they're placed. I didn't use that here. I just found a space that would actually make this a lovely space for the garden. So, defined by Oscar Miro Quesada as sacred space created at the point where the inner shamanic landscape and the outer world meet. And this is what we've been talking about over the last few days. Creating that space where you connect with your inner world and your outer world. A shamanic vision marker which allows spiritual adepts, ceremonial aspects to the Hanakpacha realms. And what he means by the Hanakpacha is the upper realms, the higher realms, the spiritual realms. So I'm very aware that the rain could be coming. So here is the more playful area, but equally, so I have put things on the walls here to, this is playful ceremony, chimes, And here, let's see if we can get this in here. Here we have a little gateway to the fairy realms. And I mentioned yesterday about using like broken, something that, this was a beautiful piece, an original piece here of delf, of art that got broken in a move. And I've just put it down there. It's like a little pathway into the fairy gate. So some of you may not be ready yet for the elemental realms. I, for one, coming from Ireland, know they exist. So I like to acknowledge them, appreciate them, and at certain times we'll leave out food for them as well. And the this also is a very beautiful tree that I talked in the first video about the breath is life. And if all you do in the outside world, I'll just come back a little bit further. If all you do in the outside world is sit under a tree, then you will, Marta, Ellie, you're on here. Marta has actually walked. She's Spanish and has walked the Camino. Haven't you, Marta? So if all you do here is sit under a tree, because trees are life. We breathe in oxygen, breathe out carbon dioxide. The tree takes in the carbon dioxide and breathes out oxygen. How simple is that? So trees are life. So I think, and that, can I just say, sitting in alone, like sitting on the bench I mentioned earlier, just sitting under a tree can be a ritual in itself. Look at that, I'm about to finish. The rain is coming. I feel really blessed to feel the rain on my head. I feel like this is Mother Nature saying, yes, yes, please share all that you know with those that are will listen and hear. So I don't know if you can see the rain, but I feel like I'm being blessed with holy water. Okay, everybody. Thank you, Marta. Thank you, Ellie, and whoever else was there. Bless you all. Have a great day, and just find that point or time or moment in your life just to give yourself that inner sense of reverence, which will lead to radiance. All right. Love you all, and thanks for just being here. And please share it if you feel that anybody else might benefit from this. Love to you all. Love Marta. Love Ellie. And take care. Bye now.